My stepson looked me straight in the eye and said, "Either you buy me that $15,000 gaming setup or I'm moving out forever." His dad stood right there and said nothing. So I did something that shocked everyone. What happened next will blow your mind. But first, thank you for watching Granny Story Spells. Your support means everything to us. If you love our stories, please hit that subscribe button. Tell us what city you're watching from in the comments. We love giving shout-outs. Today's special mention goes to Maria Santos from Miami. We're so happy you enjoy our channel. Now let me tell you my story. I'm Linda, and I always tried to be the perfect stepmom. When I married Robert 3 years ago, his son Tyler was just 16. I knew being a stepmom would be hard, but I wanted to try. I bought Tyler new clothes for school. I drove him to basketball practice every day. I even helped him with his homework when he struggled. I thought we were building something special. I really believed Tyler saw me as more than just his dad's wife. But last Tuesday changed everything. Tyler walked into our kitchen and sat down at the table. He had this look in his eyes that made me nervous. His phone was face down next to him, which was weird because Tyler never puts his phone down. Robert was making coffee, humming some old song. Everything felt normal until Tyler opened his mouth. "Linda," he said in this cold voice I'd never heard before. "I need to talk to you about something important." I sat down across from him, thinking maybe he wanted to talk about college or his girlfriend. But then he pulled out his laptop and turned it toward me. On the screen was a website showing the most expensive gaming computer I'd ever seen. "This is what I want for my 18th birthday," he said. "It costs $15,000. I almost choked on my water. "Tyler, that's a lot of money," I said softly. "Maybe we can find something cheaper that." "No," he cut me off. "It has to be this one." I looked at Robert, hoping he would jump in and be the parent. But he just kept stirring his coffee like nothing was happening. "Tyler," I said carefully, $15,000 is more than some people make in months. Maybe we can. "Either you buy this for me," Tyler interrupted, "or I'm done with this family. I'll move in with my mom in Chicago and you'll never see me again." The kitchen went completely quiet. Even Robert stopped stirring his coffee. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. This boy I had loved and cared for was giving me an ultimatum. "Tyler, you don't mean that," I whispered. "Try me," he said, closing the laptop with a loud snap. "I'm 18 next month. I can do whatever I want. And if you really cared about me, you'd prove it." I looked at Robert again, begging him with my eyes to say something, anything. Finally, he cleared his throat. "Maybe we should think about it, Linda. Tyler's been through a lot with the divorce." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Think about it," I said, my voice getting louder. "Robert, he just threatened to leave if I don't spend $15,000 on a computer." Tyler rolled his eyes. "God, Linda, you're being so dramatic. All my friends' parents buy them nice things. Sarah's stepmom bought her a car. Mike's stepdad got him that trip to Japan. But you can't even buy me one thing that matters to me." "I've bought you plenty of things," I said, feeling hurt and confused. "Like what?" Tyler snapped. "Clothes I didn't ask for. Food I have to eat anyway." "That's not the same thing." Robert nodded like Tyler was making perfect sense. "He has a point, Linda. You said you wanted to treat him like your own son. Well, this is what parents do." I stared at my husband, wondering who this man was. The Robert the first married would never have let his son talk to anyone like this, especially not me. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Tyler's words. "Prove you care about me." When did love become about money? When did being a family mean buying your way in? I thought about all the nights I stayed up helping Tyler with his math homework. All the times I picked him up from school when he missed the bus. All the basketball games I attended, cheering louder than anyone else in the stands. Did none of that matter? The next morning, Robert acted like nothing had happened. He made his breakfast, kissed my cheek, and went to work. Tyler didn't come downstairs at all. I could hear him on his gaming headset, probably telling his friends about his mean stepmom who wouldn't buy him his dream computer. I felt like a stranger in my own house. These two people I loved were treating me like I was the problem for not wanting to spend $15,000 on a teenager. I called my sister Jenny that afternoon. "He said what?" she yelled into the phone. "Jenny, I don't know what to do," I said, starting to cry. "Robert thinks I should just buy it to keep the peace." "Linda, listen to me," Jenny said firmly. "This is not about a computer. This is about respect. And right now, nobody in that house is respecting you." Her words hit me like a truck. She was right. I had been so busy trying to be the perfect stepmom that I forgot I deserved respect too. That evening, Tyler came downstairs for dinner. He sat at the table like a king waiting to be served. "So," he said, cutting his food, "have you thought about what I said yesterday?" Robert looked at me expectantly. I took a deep breath. "Yes, Tyler, I have thought about it. And my answer is no." Tyler's fork stopped halfway to his mouth. "What do you mean, no?" "I mean no," I said louder. "I will not be buying you a $15,000 computer." Tyler's face turned red. "Fine," he said, standing up so fast his chair fell over. "Then I'm leaving. I'm calling my mom right now." He stormed upstairs and I could hear him on the phone, crying and telling his mother how mean I was being. Robert looked at me like I had just burned down the house. "Linda, was that really necessary?" he asked quietly. "Yes," I said, surprised by how calm I felt. "It was completely necessary." "He's just a kid," Robert said. "He doesn't understand money." "He's 17 years old," I replied. "Old enough to understand that love isn't something you buy. Old enough to understand that threatening to leave your family is wrong." Robert shook his head. "You're being too harsh. Maybe we could find a cheaper gaming setup." "No, Robert," I interrupted. "This isn't about the computer anymore. This is about what Tyler thinks he can get away with." Tyler came back downstairs with his phone still pressed to his ear. "My mom said she can pick me up this weekend," he announced loudly. "She thinks it's terrible how you're treating me." I felt my heart break a little, but I didn't change my mind. "I'm sorry you feel that way, Tyler," I said softly. "I love you, but I won't be blackmailed." "It's not blackmail," he yelled. "It's just, if you really cared, you would want to make me happy." "I do want you to be happy," I said, standing up from the table. "But not at the cost of teaching you that love can be bought and sold." Tyler looked confused, like he had never thought about it that way. That's not what I meant," he said, but his voice was quieter now. "Then what did you mean?" I asked gently. "When you said I had to buy you that computer or lose you forever, what were you really saying?" Tyler's face crumbled a little. All my friends get these expensive gifts. Their parents never say no. I thought if you really saw me as your son, you would do the same thing." My heart ached for him, but I knew I had to stay strong. "Tyler, being your stepmom means loving you enough to say no sometimes. Real parents don't buy their children's love. They earn it by being there, by caring, by setting boundaries." Robert finally spoke up. "Maybe Linda has a point, Tyler. 15,000 is a lot of money." Tyler looked between us, and I could see him realizing that his plan wasn't working. "But I already told my friends you were going to buy it," he said quietly. "Then you'll have to tell them you were wrong," I said firmly. "And maybe you'll learn that it's not okay to make promises with other people's money." The next few days were tense. Tyler barely spoke to me, and when he did, it was just one-word answers. Robert tried to play peacemaker, suggesting we compromise by buying Tyler a cheaper gaming setup. But I stood my ground. This wasn't about money anymore. This was about teaching Tyler that relationships aren't transactions. You can't threaten to leave every time you don't get what you want. On Friday night, Tyler's mother called. I could hear her yelling through the phone from across the room. She was angry that I wouldn't buy Tyler his computer. She called me selfish and said I was obviously playing favorites with my own children. The funny thing is, I don't even have any other children. Tyler is the only child in our house. But somehow I was still the villain in this story. That weekend, Tyler packed his bags. He was really going to leave. Robert tried to talk him out of it, but Tyler's mind was made up. "This isn't my real home anyway," he said as he carried his suitcase downstairs. "My real family wouldn't treat me like this." Those words hurt more than I can explain. For 3 years I had tried so hard to be a good stepmom. I thought I was his real family. As Tyler waited for his mother to pick him up, he sat on the couch looking sad and angry. I sat down next to him, even though I knew he didn't want me there. "Tyler," I said quietly, "I want you to know that I love you. That hasn't changed." He didn't look at me. "If you loved me, you would have bought me that computer," he mumbled. "No," I said firmly. "If I didn't love you, I would have bought it." Tyler looked confused. "That doesn't make sense." "It makes perfect sense," I explained. "Anyone can throw money at a problem. But real love means caring enough about someone to teach them right from wrong. Real love means saying no when yes would be easier." Tyler was quiet for a long moment. "I still think you're being mean," he said finally. "And I still think you're being manipulative," I replied. "But I love you anyway." When Tyler's mother arrived, she didn't even come to the door. She just honked the horn like we were some kind of taxi service. Tyler stood up, grabbed his bags, and headed for the door. He stopped and looked back at me. "Goodbye, Linda," he said, and for just a second, I heard the little boy I used to read bedtime stories to. "Goodbye, Tyler," I replied. "My door is always open if you change your mind." After Tyler left, the house felt empty and quiet. Robert blamed me for everything. "You could have just bought him the computer," he said over and over. "Now look what happened. He's gone." "He's not gone forever," I said, but I wasn't sure I believed it. "He made his choice, Robert. And I made mine." We barely spoke for weeks. Robert slept in the guest room and ate his meals in silence. 3 months passed without a word from Tyler. Then one day my phone rang. It was him. "Linda," he said, and his voice sounded different. Older somehow. "Hi, Tyler," I said, trying not to cry. "I've been thinking about what you said," he continued. "About real love meaning saying no sometimes." I held my breath. And I think maybe I was wrong. About the computer. About everything. Tyler told me that living with his mother had been harder than he expected. She did buy him expensive things, but she was never around to enjoy them with him. "She gives me money instead of time," he said sadly. "You used to help me with homework and come to my games. That was better than any computer." I started crying right there on the phone. "Tyler, I miss you so much." "I miss you too," he whispered. Can I come home?" Tyler came home that weekend. He apologized to both Robert and me. "I'm sorry I tried to blackmail you," he said, looking embarrassed. "I thought having expensive stuff would make me happier, but it didn't." We talked for hours about love and family and what it really means to care about someone. Tyler learned that real love isn't about buying things. It's about showing up, being present, and sometimes having the courage to say no. Now Tyler is in college, and we're closer than ever. He calls me every week and visits whenever he can. He never did get that $15,000 gaming computer, but he got something much more valuable. He learned that real family doesn't give ultimatums. Real family loves you even when you're being difficult. And sometimes, the best gift you can give someone is teaching them that they can't buy love. What would you have done in my situation? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Granny Story Spells for more real-life tales. See you next time.